want your website to be seen. Well, in this deep dive, we're uncovering the secrets of SEO in 2024. We're diving into what is SEO, a comprehensive SEO guide 2024 that you sent over. And let me tell you, it is packed with insights.
It really is a fantastic resource. We've got the SEO basics, latest trends, even some strategic advice. And it's all laid out in a way that's easy to understand.
So the article explains the 3 steps Google uses to rank websites: crawling, indexing, and ranking. I get the basic idea, but how do we actually use this knowledge?
Think of crawling as like Google sending out these digital spiders to explore the web.
Okay.
They follow links to discover new pages. So a clear site structure, solid internal linking strategy, it's crucial.
So it's not enough to just create great content. We need to make sure Google can actually find it.
Exactly. Once those spiders find your content, Google moves on to indexing.
Yeah.
It's like Google creating its own massive library,
Okay.
analyzing and storing information about your web pages.
Okay, so that's crawling and indexing. But what about ranking? That's where it gets really interesting, right?
Absolutely. Ranking is where the magic happens.
Okay.
This is where Google decides where your website appears in those search results for a specific query. And the article dives into 4 main types of SEO strategies. We've got on-page SEO, off-page SEO, technical SEO, and local SEO.
Wow. That's a lot of SEO.
Yeah.
Let's break it down. What are the key things we need to know about each type? You know, the things that will help us actually start taking action.
Got it. Let's start with on-page SEO. This is all about optimizing the actual content and HTML source code of your web pages. Think. Using relevant keywords in your content, optimizing those title tags, meta descriptions, and structuring your content in a way that is, well, user-friendly. One thing that really stood out in the article was the emphasis on EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
EAT. That sounds a bit like something you would order at a fancy restaurant, but seriously, why does it matter for SEO?
Think of it this way. Google wants to provide users with the best possible results. So they're looking for content from sources that are credible and trustworthy. The more you can demonstrate your expertise, your authority in your content, the more likely Google is to rank you higher. It's like building a reputation.
Okay.
Not just with your readers, but with Google too.
So EAT is kind of like a secret handshake with Google.
That's a great way to put it. Now, off-page SEO is a bit different. This is about building your reputation, but it's what other people are saying about you online.
Okay, so if on-page SEO is about what we say on our website, off-page is about what others say about us across the web.
You got it.
Yeah.
Off-page SEO involves things like link building, social media engagement, and influencer outreach. Essentially, it's about getting other websites to link back to yours.
Okay. But why are these backlinks so important?
Think of backlinks like votes of confidence. The more high-quality websites that link back to you, the more Google sees your website as valuable, an authoritative resource. It's like a popularity contest for websites.
Right.
And everyone wants to be at the top of the list.
Okay, so we've got on-page SEO, where we carefully craft our content and make it easy for Google to find it.
Right.
And then we have off-page SEO, where we work on building our website's reputation, getting those valuable backlinks. But what about technical SEO? That one sounds a bit intimidating.
It might sound a little complex, but it's actually about ensuring your website is running smoothly behind the scenes. Think website speed, mobile friendliness, how your website is structured, that's the site architecture, and security. All of these factors can influence how search engines crawl and index your site, which ultimately impacts your rankings.
So a slow, clunky website is basically a giant keep-out sign for Google's spiders.
Pretty much. If users are bouncing off your site because it's slow or difficult to navigate, Google's going to take notice and your rankings will suffer. And speaking of user experience, the article mentions core web vitals as a key factor in SEO. These are specific metrics Google uses to measure how user-friendly your website is.
Core web vitals. I'm guessing those are pretty important if Google's using them to judge our websites.
They absolutely are. One of the core web vitals is called largest contentful paint, which essentially measures how quickly the main content of your page loads.
Okay.
This is crucial because if your website takes forever to load, users are going to get frustrated and head elsewhere. And that translates to a higher bounce rate, which can negatively impact your SEO.
Okay. So if I'm picturing this right, it's kind of like inviting someone over to your house.
Okay.
On-page SEO is making sure your house is clean and organized. Off-page SEO is getting your friends to tell everyone how awesome your house is. Technical SEO is making sure the plumbing works, the lights are on, and Core Web Vitals is making sure your guests don't have to wait forever for you to answer the door.
That's a fantastic analogy. You've really captured the essence of those different SEO elements.
Now, the last type of SEO the article mentions is local SEO. Is this just for brick and mortar businesses, or can online businesses benefit from it too?
Local SEO is definitely crucial for businesses that have a physical location and want to attract customers in their area. Think restaurants, shops, hair salons, doctor's offices, anyone who needs to show up in those near me searches.
So if I'm running a pizza place, I need to make sure my website pops up when someone searches for pizza near me.
Exactly.
Huh.
Local SEO is all about optimizing your online presence to dominate those local search results. This involves things like claiming and optimizing your Google My Business profile, getting listed in online directories, and even using location-based keywords in your website content.
Okay. I think I'm starting to get the big picture here. We've got these different types of SEO all working together to make our websites more visible,
Right.
more attractive to both Google and our target audience. But the article also dives into 5 key SEO trends that are shaking things up in 2024. What's the first trend we need to wrap our heads around?
It's all about AI now. And the article highlights the Search Generative Experience, or SGE. Imagine typing in a question, and instead of just seeing a list of links, you get a concise answer pulled from multiple sources with relevant links for you to explore further.
So it's like Google is giving us the Cliff's Notes version of the internet, powered by AI.
That's a great way to think about it. And get this, SGE is already available in 120 countries, including Indonesia. This tells us Google is serious about making this the new standard for search.
Wow, that's a game changer. But how does this actually impact how we approach SEO? Does this mean keywords are dead?
Keywords are still important, but it's not just about stuffing your content with them anymore. With SGE, Google is getting smarter
Okay.
at understanding the intent behind searches. They're looking for content that genuinely answers the user's question
Okay.
in a comprehensive and informative way.
So basically, well-researched, in-depth content is becoming even more important for SEO.
Absolutely. FGE relies on high-quality information. And this brings us to the second trend highlighted in the article, in-depth content. If your content is shallow or lacks substance, it's less likely to be chosen as a source for those AI-generated answers.
This really ties back to that EAT framework we talked about earlier. Google wants to showcase content from sources that are knowledgeable and trustworthy. It's like they're raising the bar for quality content across the board.
Exactly. And this shift towards in-depth content is something you should definitely keep in mind
Right.
as you move forward with your SEO strategy.
Okay, so we've got AI shaking things up with SGE. And the need for well-researched, in-depth content is becoming even more important.
Right.
What's the next trend we need to tackle?
Let's talk about voice search. It's not exactly new, but it's definitely evolving. People are using voice search more and more, and they're using more natural language when they do.
So instead of typing best pizza near me into a search bar, I might say, hey, Google, find me the best pizza place that delivers.
Precisely. And this means you need to start thinking about how people are actually talking about your products or services. Instead of focusing solely on those short, specific keywords, you need to consider long-tail keywords, which are longer, more conversational phrases. Think about the questions people are asking and make sure your content provides the answers.
This makes a lot of sense. So we need to write our content in a way that feels natural and conversational, almost like we're having a chat with our audience.
You got it. And you know what else is becoming a bigger player in the SEO game? Video.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. It seems like video is everywhere these days. Why is video content suddenly so important for SEO?
Well, it's not exactly sudden. Video has been steadily rising in popularity for years, but it's now becoming a major force in search. People are turning to platforms like YouTube and TikTok for entertainment, for information, and even to research products before they buy.
It's true. I find myself watching more and more videos online. But how do we actually optimize our video content for SEO? Is it just about using the right keywords?
Keywords are definitely important, but it's also about creating high-quality videos that are engaging and informative. Make sure your videos are well-structured, easy to follow, and provide value to your viewers. And don't forget about those catchy titles and descriptions. They'll help your videos stand out in the search results.
So if we're not creating video content already, we're missing out on a huge opportunity to reach our audience and boost our SEO.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And it ties in beautifully with everything else we've been talking about, the rise of AI and SGE, the importance of in-depth content, and the shift toward voice search.
It's like all of these trends are pointing us in the same direction.
Right.
Create amazing content that people actually want to consume, whether it's text, audio, or video,
Yeah.
and make it easy for both Google and your audience to find it.
You've hit the nail on the head. And that brings us to the fifth and final trend, user experience.
Ah, yes, user experience. I hear that phrase tossed around a lot. But how does it actually impact SEO?
Think about it this way. Google wants to recommend websites that provide a positive experience for users. So factors like page speed, mobile friendliness, easy navigation, and clear, engaging content
Okay.
all play a role in how Google ranks your website.
So a website that's slow, clunky, or difficult to use is basically shooting itself in the foot when it comes to SEO.
Exactly. Google wants users to have a seamless and enjoyable experience. If they're landing on your site and immediately bouncing off because it's frustrating to use, that's going to send a negative signal to Google.
This is all starting to make so much sense. It's not just about tricking Google with keywords or shady tactics anymore. It's about creating a website that's genuinely valuable and user-friendly.
And that's a really important shift to understand. SEO in 2024 and beyond is all about aligning your website
Right.
with what Google and your audience truly want.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. The basics of SEO, the importance of EAT, the 4 main types of SEO strategies, and those 5 game-changing trends. My brain is buzzing with new information.
I bet. But this is just the beginning. We're going to take a deeper dive into those specific SEO types, explore some actionable advice from the article, and unpack those trends even further.
I can't wait. But first, let's take a moment to process all of this amazing information. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Welcome back. We've laid a solid SEO foundation, and now it's time to dig deeper into those 4 SEO strategies: on-page, off-page, technical, and local SEO. The article provides some really insightful advice for each.
I'm all ears. Let's start with on-page SEO. We talked about EAT, keywords, and user-friendly content. But what are some specific tactics? The things we can use to really optimize our pages.
One thing the article emphasizes is optimizing your title tags and meta descriptions. Think of these as your website's first impression. They're what people see in the search results, and they need to be compelling.
So it's like writing a killer headline for a news article.
Exactly. Your title tags should accurately reflect the content of the page, include relevant keywords, while the meta description provides, like a brief, enticing summary that encourages clicks.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about those keywords? We touched on them earlier, but with SGE shaking things up, I'm a little unclear. How should we be using them in our content?
It's not about keyword stuffing anymore, cramming in as many keywords as possible. It's about using them strategically and naturally within your content. Think about the words and phrases your target audience is actually using when they search for information related to your website.
So it's more about understanding our audience's search intent and creating content that aligns with their needs.
Precisely. And remember, with voice search on the rise, people are using more conversational language. So incorporate those long-tail keywords,
Right.
those longer phrases that reflect how people actually speak.
All right, so we've got our keywords sorted. What else can we do to boost our on-page SEO game?
The article highlights the importance of structuring your content in a way that's both user-friendly and search engine-friendly. Use clear headings and subheadings to break up your text. Make it easier to scan, to digest.
So it's all about making it as easy as possible for both Google and our readers to understand what our content is about.
Exactly. And don't forget about images and videos. They can break up your text, make your content more engaging, and even boost your SEO if you optimize them correctly.
Okay, on-page SEO checklist. Optimize title tags and meta descriptions, strategic keyword usage, clear content structure, and don't forget those visuals.
Got it. Now let's move on to off-page SEO. We talked about backlinks being like votes of confidence, but how do we actually get those backlinks? It feels a bit like a popularity contest where you're not allowed to campaign.
It can feel that way, but there are definitely strategies you can use to earn those valuable backlinks. One approach the article mentions is guest blogging. Reach out to websites in your niche and offer to write high-quality content for them. So it's like borrowing someone else's platform to showcase our expertise and get our name out there.
Exactly. And when you guest blog, you typically get a link back to your own website in your author bio or within the content itself.
That's a win-win. We get to share our knowledge with a new audience and we earn a backlink that boosts our SEO. What are some other ways to build those backlinks?
Another approach is to create content that's so valuable and shareable
Okay.
that other websites naturally want to link to it. Think infographics,
Yep.
original research studies, or even just really well-written blog posts that offer unique insights.
So it's about creating content that's so good, people can't help but share it.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of social media. Promote your content on your social channels, engage with your followers, and participate in relevant online communities. The more visibility you have, the more opportunities you'll have to earn backlinks naturally.
All right, so off-page SEO is all about building relationships, creating valuable content, and getting our name out there. Now let's talk about technical SEO. We touched on this earlier, but honestly, it's the area I feel the least confident about.
I get it, it can feel a bit overwhelming if you're not a tech whiz, but the article actually breaks it down into some key areas we can focus on. First and foremost, website speed.
We talked about core web vitals earlier, and I know page speed is a big part of that. But what can we actually do to make our website faster?
Optimize your images.
Okay.
Large image files can really slow down your website. There are tools that can help you compress images without sacrificing quality. You can also leverage browser caching, which basically means storing certain elements of your website on a visitor's computer so they don't have to be re-downloaded every time they visit.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's about streamlining things behind the scenes, making sure our website loads quickly and efficiently. What else should we be paying attention to?
Mobile friendliness is crucial. More and more people are browsing the web on their phones, so your website needs to be responsive, meaning it adapts seamlessly to different screen sizes.
I'm definitely guilty of abandoning websites if they're a pain to navigate on my phone.
I think we all are. And Google knows that user experience is paramount. They've even stated that mobile friendliness is a ranking factor. So if your website isn't optimized for mobile, you're likely losing out on traffic and potential customers.
All right, so we've got website speed, mobile friendliness. What about site architecture? What does that even mean?
It's basically the structure and organization of your website. Think of it as the blueprint.
Okay.
A well-organized site with a clear hierarchy makes it easier for both Google and users to navigate and find the information they're looking for.
So it's like having a well-organized filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Everything's in its place, and it's easy to find what you need.
Exactly. And the article mentions the importance of using internal links strategically. Link between related pages on your website to help users discover more of your content and to help Google understand the relationships between your pages.
So it's like creating a web of information
Yes,
that guides both Google and our readers through our website.
precisely. And last but certainly not least, security is a major aspect of technical SEO. Make sure your website has an SSL certificate, which encrypts data transmitted between your website and users, and keep your website software up to date to protect against vulnerabilities.
This all makes sense. It's not just about making our website look pretty, it's about building a solid foundation that ensures a safe and enjoyable experience for our visitors.
And that's a big part of what SEO is all about, providing a positive user experience.
Right. We've covered on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO. That leaves us with local SEO. We talked about this briefly earlier, but let's dig a little deeper. Who exactly is local SEO for?
Local SEO is essential for any business that has a physical location and wants to attract customers in their local area. Think brick-and-mortar stores, restaurants, service providers, anyone who needs to show up when people search for businesses near me.
So if I'm running a bakery in Chicago, I want to make sure my website pops up when someone searches for bakeries in Chicago.
Exactly. And the article highlights some really effective strategies for boosting your local SEO. The first step is to claim and optimize your Google My Business profile.
I've heard of Google My Business, but honestly, I haven't given it much thought. Why is it so important? For local SEO?
Think of your Google My Business profile as your online storefront. It's often the first thing people see when they search for businesses like yours. So it needs to make a great first impression.
So it's like having a virtual open for business sign hanging outside our digital door.
That's a great way to put it. Make sure your business name, address, phone number, and website are all accurate and consistent across your Google My Business profile and your website. Add photos, videos, and even customer reviews to make your profile stand out.
Okay, I'm starting to see why Google My Business is so important for local SEO. What else can we do to attract those local customers?
Build local citations. These are online mentions of your business on other websites,
Okay.
like directories, review sites, and social media platforms.
So it's kind of like building those backlinks we talked about earlier, but on a local level.
Exactly. The more consistent your business information is across the web, the more credible you appear
Right.
to both Google and potential customers.
This is all starting to click. We need to make sure our business information is accurate and consistent everywhere. Claim and optimize our Google My Business profile, build those local citations, and use location-based keywords in our content.
You got it. And remember, local SEO is all about making it as easy as possible for local customers to find you, both online and offline.
This has been incredibly helpful. We've unpacked all 4 SEO strategies, and now I feel like I have a much clearer understanding of how to optimize my website for search. But before we move on, I want to circle back to those 5 SEO trends for 2024. They really seem to be changing the game.
They absolutely are, and it's important to remember that these trends are all interconnected. The rise of SGE emphasizes the need for high-quality, in-depth content. Voice search requires a more conversational approach to keyword research and content creation. Video is becoming a dominant force in search, and user experience is paramount.
It's like we're entering a new era of SEO,
Right.
where authenticity, value, and user experience reign supreme.
I couldn't agree more. And as we dive deeper into those trends, we'll explore how you can leverage these shifts to your advantage.
This is getting really exciting. But I think it's time for another quick pause to let all of this information sink in. We'll be right back after a short break to tackle those trends and wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of SEO.
All right, we're back and ready to tackle those 5 SEO trends. The ones that are shaping the future of search. We've already touched on them, but how can we actually adapt our strategies?
It's all about embracing the shift towards a more user-centric approach
Okay.
to SEO. And these trends are pushing us in that direction, whether we're ready or not.
Let's start with the Search Generative Experience, or SGE. It's clear that AI is becoming a major force in search. But how do we optimize for a system that's constantly learning and evolving?
It's less about trying to trick the algorithm and more about aligning your content with what users are actually searching for. Focus on creating comprehensive, informative content that genuinely answers their questions.
So it's not just about targeting specific keywords anymore. It's about understanding the intent behind those keywords and providing valuable information. You got it. And this ties in beautifully with the second trend, the emphasis on in-depth content.
Okay.
SGE relies on high-quality information. So the more thorough, the more well-researched your content is, the more likely it is to be featured in those AI-generated answers.
It's like Google is saying, don't just skim the surface, dive deep. Provide real value to your audience. And I think that's a good thing. It encourages us to create content that's truly helpful and informative.
Absolutely. It challenges us to think beyond those quick surface-level answers and really dig into the nuances of a topic.
Now let's talk about voice search. We've already touched on the importance of using conversational language and long-tail keywords, but are there any other tips for optimizing for voice search?
Think about how people actually speak. When they're asking questions, they're not using robotic keywords.
Right.
They're using natural language phrasing. So incorporate those conversational elements into your content.
So instead of just targeting the keyword best running shoes, we might also want to consider phrases like, what are the best running shoes for marathon training? Or what are the most comfortable running shoes for flat feet?
Exactly. Anticipate the questions your audience might be asking and provide clear, concise answers within your content. And don't forget about optimizing for local voice searches.
Ah, yes, those near me searches. So if I'm running a coffee shop, I want to make sure my website pops up when someone says, hey Siri, find me a coffee shop near me.
Precisely. Make sure your website is optimized for local SEO with accurate business information, local citations, and location-based keywords.
All right, we've covered SGE, in-depth content, and voice search. What about video search? We know video is becoming increasingly important for SEO, but how do we make sure our videos are actually getting seen?
Treat your videos like any other piece of content. Optimize them.
Right.
Use relevant keywords in your video titles, descriptions, and tags. Make sure your videos are well-structured and engaging with clear calls to action.
So it's not just about uploading a video and hoping for the best. It's about putting in the same effort we would with any other piece of content.
Exactly. Think about what your audience wants to see and create videos that provide value, whether it's entertainment, education, or inspiration. And don't forget to promote your videos on social media and embed them on your website to increase visibility.
Now, the final trend we need to address is user experience. We've talked about the importance of a fast, mobile-friendly website, but what are some other factors that contribute to a positive user experience?
Think about the overall flow and design of your website.
Right.
Is it easy to navigate? Is the content clear and engaging? Do you have a clear call to action?
It's like creating a welcoming and enjoyable space for our visitors, making sure they can easily find what they're looking for and have a positive experience
Right.
while they're there.
That's a great analogy. And remember, a positive user experience not only benefits your audience, but also sends positive signals to Google,
Right.
boosting your SEO in the process.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've explored the fundamentals of SEO, delved into 4 specific SEO strategies, and unpacked those 5 game-changing trends. But before we wrap up, the article mentions using SEO plugins to boost website performance. Is this something we should be exploring?
SEO plugins can be valuable tools, especially if you're new to SEO or don't have a lot of technical expertise. They can help you with tasks like keyword research, content optimization, and technical audits. But remember, they're just tools.
So we shouldn't rely on them to do all the work for us.
Exactly. It's important to understand the principles behind SEO and use these plugins as a way to enhance your efforts, not replace them.
That's a great point. SEO is an ongoing process, and it requires a combination of knowledge, strategy, and a willingness to adapt.
Well said. And I think that's a fantastic takeaway for our listeners. SEO in 2024 and beyond is about embracing change, focusing on your audience, and creating a website that's both user-friendly and search engine-friendly.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? We've explored the intricacies of SEO, from the basics to the latest trends, but it's up to you to take this knowledge and apply it to your own online presence.
The tools and insights are out there. It's time to put them into action and watch your website climb those search rankings.
This deep dive has provided a solid foundation, and now it's up to you to build upon it. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep optimizing. Your online success awaits.